right now. So when you get here, you say new video. All right, you follow the steps because this is where also sometimes you are not able to. Then you record a video. And then you have to choose. So you come on the full screen, which is here. And then you choose camera only. If you choose full screen, it means that you're going to present your whole screen. If you choose window, it means that you're going to have your video plus um, the camera. Like it will be a small. I think you're seeing my like a small camera here. If you choose current tab, is only going to present the tab. So you need to choose camera only because you're recording a video that you're going to send out. That is what they need. So you're gonna choose camera only, and then you start recording once you are ready. Once you record, uh, it only has 5 minutes limit recording because this is a free version of it. I don't have a paid version of Loom, but paid version can go way more for those who do classes and everything around that. So when you come here, you're going to have this one. I recorded it, I think, with one of you 2 days ago. Um, so you can tap on it and then you share the link. Just copy the URL up on the Google Chrome, and then you can now share the link to the employer or the person that wants that. That one is for Esther, who has asked. Annette.
Emails. So it shows that I am headed somewhere. So I really want to thank you and the services that you're offering.
Thank you so much for that, Annette. I appreciate. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm seeing that. Good to hear. Yes, Yvonne. Probably, Annette, you can share with them how far you've gotten because I know I'm working with you so that you can encourage someone here as we start.
I think we started working, is it mid last month? Applying for the 2 jobs daily, though I've had my own a lot of issues. I've not been able to do that, but I am sure at least even one when I don't even have time. So you optimized my LinkedIn. I started posting and I have received 2. Right now I am on 2 active interactions on LinkedIn. I have actually even been invited for an interview, which I'm so excited about. I've just booked today. You're going to prepare me for the interview, so I am hopeful. I have received rejection emails, of which you told me that rejection is normal. I think I took that in, and yeah, I think I'm in a healthy relationship now with looking for remote work. That's what I can say. So thank you. I am excited. I don't want to show it yet, but I'm so excited.
I'm proud of you, Annette. I think you have also gone through a tough situation you explained to me last week. And I'm glad that even through those moments, you still came back. You didn't take that. I mean, if it were a mistake, I think I could have paused for almost a month before I came back. So when you texted me, I was like, oh my God, you've already dealt with that. It was so interesting just to see you come back. So I'm hoping that next week for the interview that we have, you're gonna close the deal so that you can get into remote work. And that is just also to encourage each and every one of you who is here that yeah, it happens. You must have you might have been going like there's nobody who is not going through something in their lives. So don't pause because you're going through something. Just build the consistency, and you're going to do I think that as the action plan, which is the last class for today. Uh, Build the consistency even through storms. There's always a storm. We are always told in church that you are either getting into a storm or getting it out of one, or you're almost getting into one. And you just really need to know how to navigate through and have consistency to keep on showing up even through the middle of everything that is going on. So I'm proud of you, Annette, and hopefully we will meet next week on Monday because I know you've given me more time to prepare. So we'll hopefully meet next week on Monday and prepare for the interview that is coming up. All right. So let's get to the business of today. We're going to talk about how to pass an AI interview. Uh, and there are two platforms that we are going to use. You can also go and use the two platforms so that you can practice from them. One of them is HireView, um, and the other one you're going to see it as we go. So you can use those two platforms to practice for the AI interview. You're going to master the modern hiring systems and get ahead. And today we are preparing for something that many people are not ready for AI interviews. If you understand this, you immediately gain an advantage to get into remote work. It's a new concept. It has been so common since late last year into this year. I think it's not something that was there 1 year ago. It just came late last year into this year. And I'm sure that most of you here have applied for jobs and have gotten AI invitation to do AI interviews. And so that is what you are going to debunk today. And so what is an AI interview? An AI interview is just a pre-recorded interview. You're going to pre-record. You're not going to have someone on your end, the other end to like there's no human on the other end to ask questions. So it's an AI that is going to ask you questions. And sometimes they go deeper to also even ask the things that you've written on your CV. So you might say, for example, you worked in Safaricom here in Kenya. AI is going to say, now at your previous role in Safaricom, because it has already gone through your CV and it knows whatever you've written. So before you go for an AI interview, you really need to understand what your CV what you've written. That is why I told you that you track the CVs that you're sending out so that you know very well that when you're called for an interview, this is the CV that you sent out. And then you're going to have a pre recorded interview and then you're going to answer questions on camera. Some are done on camera, some are not done on camera, some you just do them by writing, um, depending on whatever it is that you're being asked. And then the third part is that no human interviewer is present, you're just you and the AI. So it is used by companies to actually screen many candidates quickly. It is used to save time and it is used to standardize evaluation. And so you are speaking to a system when you're doing an AI interview, but your performance determines how a human ever sees you. So don't just think it's an AI and then you forget that there's a human who has actually set up that AI tool so that you can be able to achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve in the organization. So an example of popular tools that people use right now for AI interview, number one is HireView. And the reason I'm giving you these two platforms is because you go and try out, practice. I know right now there are people that are in this class that I know have AI interviews coming up. And so, as we prepare through the weekend, because I'm supposed to meet some of you through the weekend, as we prepare through the weekend into Monday and into that interview, you can practice using these two platforms, either HireView or Spark Hire, so that you can get to master your AI interview skills. Many companies use similar systems. Um, so if you're able to master these two systems, then you're going to actually master any system that any company is going to use to do AI interview. And so why do companies use AI interviews? Why not just human interviews, man? Why AI interviews? It's because companies use these ones to screen faster. I know you guys have gone to LinkedIn. There's a student of mine who I've met today. She was telling me that accounting job had 100 plus applications, and now right now nobody is going to sit down to actually go through each and every application. So they're going to use AI to screen faster, and then they're going to use AI to compare candidates fairly so that they can pick on the best presented candidate. And that is why we are having this class, so that you can be the best presented candidate. And then it's also going to reduce hiring time. Right now, nobody is willing to go through 1,000 plus CVs. And remember, this is a remote workspace. And so you're not applying Kenyans alone. There are people in Nigeria, people in South Africa, people in the UK, Canada, Ireland who are applying for the same job that you're applying for. And so those applications are so many. If you go to a platform like Sagan today, we are going through that platform with one of the people that I work with. And I noticed that there are jobs that were saying Latin America. Latin America is LATAM, and then there are someone who was also saying the same job was also hiring from Philippines and South Africa. And so imagine that they're hiring from all those locations. You are competing with people from those locations. If they go through each and every CV, it's going to increase the hiring time. um, Number two, sometimes you can get that they're hiring from the whole of Africa. So they are Nigerians. Nigerians are more aggressive than new Kenyans. There are Ghanaians, there are South Africans who are more aggressive. So you guys are all applying for that job. So it's going to reduce hiring time. You need to stand out. And I think I said that don't fear when you see, even if it's 100 plus applications. Sometimes people have just copy pasted those CVs. They have not worked on them. So you can work on it so that you can stand out. So you must learn how to perform well in this format. So how AI interviews work, the typical process is first you receive a link from the employer or the person that is hiring. I didn't have a presentation. I wish I could have taken someone's screenshot and shared here. Maybe I'll share it. I don't know. Someone will give me consent. I know some of you here who have already received AI interview invitation. So you're going to receive a link. You're going to log in, and then you're going to get questions that you're going to answer. You're going to have time to prepare, and then you're going to record your answer to those questions. So usually you will have 30 to 60 minutes of preparation, and then you'll have 1 to 3 minutes of answer. It's normally 60 to 120 minutes of answers. It is also timed. So know that each and every question that you're being asked, you're supposed to think faster and you have to answer it. So what makes an AI interview challenging? It makes something that is very challenging in these interviews is that there's no human interaction. I mean, there's nobody who's going to listen to your emotions. There's nobody who's going to listen to you, especially when your internet is buffering. Nobody is going to understand that you are from Kirinyaga where there is no internet. No, this is an AI. And then sometimes it feels uncomfortable. I know you have not been used to this system of AI. It's something that is a new concept. So that means that you're going to feel uncomfortable about it, or you're going to feel some form of anxiety when you go into it. And then the third thing is that there is limited time to think. As you can see, you've never done, I know you guys have done quite a lot of interviews, but you've never done an interview that is timed, that you are asked a question and you're told that in 10 minutes or in two minutes, you're supposed to have answered the question. Most of the interviews give you time to so that you can be able to answer, but this one you have limited time to think. And then the fourth part, which is the most difficult. I will not tell you you've answered that well. When you go for a physical interview, or if you go for an interview with a human, you normally hear them say, "You've answered that well." Oh, that is what we were expecting from you. Or they'll tell you, "Oh, are you sure?" But now AI will not tell you that you've answered that well. AI is not going to tell you that all that feedback that I've given you. So you need to really prepare. Preparation is key when it comes to AI interview. So what does AI look for when you're applying for a job or when you're sending out the interview? AI evaluates keywords. So you have to integrate keywords, and you're going to see how to integrate keywords in your speech when you're talking. When you're answering the questions, you have to integrate the keywords into it. And then it evaluates clarity of speech. You have to know how to communicate whatever it is that you offer with clarity and also confidence. And confidence, I told you, comes from preparation and knowing the value and the skills that you're bringing to the company. If you don't have that um, preparation and knowledge of the skills and the value that you bring into the company, you won't have that confidence to present yourself. And then the fourth thing is the structure of answers. I'm going to show you how to structure your answers so that you don't ramble and you don't overshare when you're doing an AI interview. So it is not about what you say, it is also about how you say it. In as much as what you say is important, it is also important on how you say it. I mean, you're a customer service person, you're going to have an AI interview. You're not going to speak with jargon like someone who is going into doing a career like engineering. You have to speak the language that even the clients that you're going to work with are going to understand. So, keywords really matter. AI listens for job related skills, it listens to the tools that are needed. And that is why I told you guys that track. Make an application, track. Because when you track, you're going to see what are the tools that have been mentioned in that job. Have you ever received an interview invite and you really wonder which job is this? Yesterday, I was listening to a podcast, and one of the people was saying that she was invited for an interview, and it was a job that she applied 8 months ago. She had even forgotten about it. It's just that it was a physical job, so she knew everything that they needed. But now, if you're doing this in a remote work setup, how will you know even the name of the company or even the job that was being described? So, track, have a list, have the links written down in an Excel sheet if it's possible, so that you can be able to track and be able just to know what is it that is required when you're inquired to do an interview. So, for an example, is if a job requires you to have customer support skills or know how to use the CRM tools, you must mention something about them. And this is where now your CV and the job description is going to help you to integrate. So your CV, you have already integrated the keywords in the skills section. The job description, you have already also integrated whatever it is that is required in the professional experience. And so when you're asked, you are supposed to bring them naturally. But also you don't speak from a point of, I'm a customer support who is very good at CRM tools and I can use HubSpot and Zendesk. So you're just putting in all the words that they need to hear and the tools and the no, you have to bring it naturally into your speech. And that is why practice really matters so that you can be able to speak a language that your employer wants to hear. So, clarity and communication is something that AI is looking for. AI checks for clear sentences. Please practice again until you have that clarity in your sentences. And then it needs logical flow. Sometimes you can write down whatever it is that you're going to say, and I told you guys that you can do that when you're doing the 1 minute introductory, a same way that you can do that when you're doing even an AI interview. You can write down whatever it is that you are going to say, so that you can have the logical flow. And then easy understanding. I know you might get there and think this is an AI, and so you're going to use the ambiguous words that you've ever had in this world. That is what you're going to say. Please, that is not what AI wants to hear. Just have an easy understanding English that is mixed with the keywords that are required from the CV and the job description. And then avoid rambling, avoid repeating yourself, avoid bringing in confusion. Sometimes you might say, I have a degree in accounting from Kenyatta University. And then you say you have 10 years of experience in accounting. And then after you made some two, three sentences, you repeat and again and say, in my 10 years of experience as an accountant, that is a repetition. And sometimes you do it unconsciously. It is a repetition of whatever you said up there. You already told them you have like you've already communicated you have an accounting degree and you have 10 years of experience in accounting. So don't again say in my 10 years of experience. If you want to bring a point that is coupled to that, you can say in my experience or in my previous experience, this is what I've been able to do in such and such a thing. So avoid rambling, avoid repetition, avoid confusion, um, have clear sentences and have logical flow, and then don't pause for too long. When you pause for too long, they will think this person is not even sure about what they are presenting to the company. Then confidence really matters. And I think I told you where confidence comes from. Confidence, number one, comes from you practicing the AI interview before you go. And I've given you sites that you can go and try and practice. So confidence comes from practicing. And number two, confidence comes from knowing that you are skilled and you bring value to the company. If you are still ish about whatever you bring to the company, you're going to really struggle. And I know most of you can attest to that. If you're just new into this thing, you'll tell yourself, I'm not that confident to present that. And so AI observes your tone of voice. You really need to present yourself in a tone that is required for the job that you're applying for. And then you have to have energy that matches the job that you're applying for. If you're applying for a virtual assistant role, it's different when you're applying for customer support, it's different when you're applying for accounting. So let your energy match the role that you're applying for. And then number three is the facial expression. Those videos, those interviews after you've sent and the AI has ranked you, and so they say this candidate has fit into this role 90%, because that is how they are ranking. 90%, there's someone who has fit in 7%, there's someone who has fit in 50%. After they've tweaked that and they say maybe they are going to interview those who have made it to 70% and above, there's a human being that is going to now check those things before they reach out to you for now the main interview with the CEO. So you really, really need to understand that these facial expressions are very important. After the AI, there's a human being behind AI. Because nobody, I can't say that. I wish it was AI that placed itself there. There's a human being who placed that AI there, and they're going to check out if it's going to give the results that you need. So confidence increases your score when you want to get into remote work. So structure is critical. Use clear structure when answering. This is the method that I teach everyone. And I need you to master this because this method is what you're going to use when you're practicing even for interview. The STAR method. That is the method that gives you the structure of how to answer questions, either in an interview, even if it's a physical interview or a remote interview, but basically remote interview and AI interviews. You have to really learn the STAR method. That is S, which stands for, it's an acronym. S stands for situation. Sometimes I normally say scenario, it's okay. T stands for task. A stands for action, and then R stands for results. So that is the STAR method. You really need to master this. I'm going to dig deeper on how to do it. And so understand this because I'm not going to repeat it when you're doing the interview preparation class. So how do you use the STAR method? The question can be, tell me about a time you handled a difficult customer. So you are a virtual assistant. If you're a virtual assistant, you'll be told a difficult CEO or a founder. This one is for customer support. If you're a medical VA, you're going to be told, I know Annette is a medical VA. If you're a medical VA, you're going to be asked a difficult patient. So whatever it is, scenario that you would want. If you are getting into teaching a difficult student, if you're getting into counseling, um, a difficult patient or a difficult addict, or I don't know why I've used that word, but anyway. So the answer should be number one, S, the situation. You first set the scenario that was there. The customer was complaining, yet they hadn't checked their email, or they're complaining, yet they hadn't booked. They're complaining, yet they hadn't followed the instruction that you'd given them as the company. T stands for task. So most of the times you confuse the task and action. Task is what you are hired to do in that company. What is your task as a virtual assistant? What is your task as an accountant? What is your task? So maybe the situation was there was a fraud case in your company, or there were tax KRA had come for the company, and you are now the accountant, the senior accountant who was representing the company. That is the situation. And then the task that you are hired to do is maybe to resolve tax uh, issues, or to make sure that the company has compliance. I know compliance is a skill that is required for accounting and finance people. And so that is the task that you're going to mention. And then now, that is the task. What is the action? What is it that you did for you to achieve the results that were required for that situation? The action. The action can be different from the task. Sometimes compliance cannot be made in one day, or it might be hard to have that compliance. So you bring in the action. So for example, here the situation is customer complaints, task was for you to resolve the issue, and then the action that the person took is to listen and respond, and then the results was customer was satisfied. You also need to mention the results, and when you're mentioning the results, please feel free to bring in the impact, sorry, the numbers and the metrics. If you were able to save the company a whole 21 million, um, I'm using that example because there's a lawyer friend of mine today who told me that they were able to save a company from a 21 million, um, from them losing a 21 million case, or I don't know, they saved 21. I'm not a lawyer. I know there's a lawyer here, but they were able to save 21 million for their client, and he was very elated and happy because of that. And so you can bring such metrics into the results section. If you are an accountant, um, you are able to sign a compliance, and then you are able to save certain amount, even if it's 50,000, you can write that 50,000 as the results. If you are a virtual assistant, you can say you saved your CEO time by 30%. If you're a customer support person, you are able to resolve issues by 70%. So you bring in the numbers in the metrics so that it can make this more spicy and show that actually you have the confidence and clarity of communicating whatever it is that you're going to offer for the company. It is very important. So, what are the common AI interview questions that you're going to get? So, prepare for questions like tell me about, apart from the things that are related to your role as a person. I know we are mixed here. Prepare for tell me about yourself. Prepare why we should hire you. Prepare this, describe a challenge that you faced. How do you handle pressure? Um, if you are a if you're getting into project management like me, you're going to be asked, um, do you use Asana or have you ever used Notion? But there, Asana, Notion, ClickUp, and Trello are tools that each and every person who wants to get into remote work should learn. Those are project management tools, but they are tools that are supposed to be learned by everyone who wants to get into remote work. I'll repeat: Notion, Asana, ClickUp, and Trello. Please learn how to use those project management tools. And you will be asked, have you ever used Notion before? Tell us a time where you used Notion. If you're told to tell a time when you used Notion, you can bring in the STAR method, or you can say whatever project that you're working on, it needed you to collaborate with different people. And so you use Notion to collaborate so that you can make sure that everyone is at par with whatever it is that they were told to do, and you are able to actually deliver the results that they were required to deliver on time. Just a simple way of explaining how to use Notion, because their project management, they manage projects and multiple people, each across different companies. It is common in every field. So, tell me about yourself question. And this is also going to be done, it's the same way that you're going to answer when you're doing even a human interview. Use this format: who you are, who are you? You have to mention your name, your career, your background. What do you do? You can mention something that you do. And that is where now your unique value proposition comes. I think I said the other day in the group that you introduce yourself with the UVP. That is the unique value proposition. And I noticed that most of you are still struggling to write the unique value proposition. If you know how to write a unique value proposition, or you know your unique value proposition and you're able to state it, it is going to make it easy when you're answering this question about tell me about yourself. So you start by your name, your career, how many years of experience you have, and then you can talk about your education background. And when you're talking about your education background, please don't give the details how you went to Masai Mara University, then you went, just say you have a background in accounting, masters in whatever masters that you have, and then a PhD if you have one. The certifications that you have, unless it's relevant, like for example, you're an accounting and you want to apply for a project management role, it is relevant that you mention the certification in project management. If not, just leave it at that. And then the third part is that your value. What is the value that you bring to the company? That is how you answer tell me about yourself question across all interviews, be it physical, be it remote, and be it AI. But now the difference is that when it's remote and AI, please add numbers and metrics. When you're speaking about your value, you're a virtual assistant, yes. What have you done before? I've been able to help business professionals to save their time, or whatever it is that you're trying to help them, and include metrics and numbers. You can say 30% of their time, or you can say how much money you've been able to save for them. Numbers and metrics are You're either saving the company from number one, losing money, number two, losing time, and number three, security. If not, they will not hire you to do that. So speak about how you bring value in terms of time, money, and security. That's all. The rest of the things, I don't think they really matter that much. Even if doesn't your career does not deal with that, you can try and connect it to those three things, and that is what makes most business people or most companies to hire people through that. And then, why should we hire you? So why should we hire you? You focus on skills, you focus on results, and you focus on value. Don't just say you need a job. For those of you who always need a job, please don't just say you need a job. Please have another different language. Focus on the skills, the results, and the value that you're going to get through that. So, for example, the skills that you're going to get, let's say you today I've used accountants so much. So let me move to social media manager. So your social media manager, the skills that you're bringing in is that you're going to create content that is going to be engaging, um, insights on different platforms, be it on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, whatever platform that you're going to bring, you're going to analyze and be able to just direct your content to fit into the audience or audience engagement and everything around that. So focus on those skills and then the results that they're going to get when they work with you and the value that you bring. Something that I normally add onto this why we should hire you is that also you can bring in the concept of the company. Let's say the company deals with fintech, all right, and you've always wanted to work in fintech as a social media manager. And so you tell them that your company is fintech. This is something that I've always wanted to do in my career, and I know that it's going to boost me to be able to achieve whatever it is that I need to achieve in my career. All right. So speak about your values, involve the company, involve it as much as you can. Don't just go there blindly. Go like someone who has researched and know what they are going to offer at that point in time. So involve the company, speak about it, speak about whatever you're going to give, the value. Here we are speaking about the things that the employer wants to hear and not the things that you think you need to present. So always think about your employers, think about the person who is listening to you. You're going to get behavioral questions. So behavioral questions are questions like tell us a time where you had to reschedule your CEO's calendar schedule or traveling itinerary, or your CEO was sick and they needed you to represent them in a meeting. What do you do? Or your CEO was traveling and they missed on a flight and they had a meeting that they needed to attend. You're even given time and dates about it. How do you go about with that scenario? So these behavioral questions are testing number one, your experience, and then number two, your problem solving. That is what they are testing. And so you'll be asked uh, scenario questions according to your career. Tell us a time where the company that you're working for as an accountant faced fraud. How were you able to resolve that? Tell us a time as a HR you had a disciplinary case, and then you're given the disciplinary case or a type of that disciplinary case, and how were you able to solve it? Always use the STAR method. Sometimes when you're given that question, I've seen most people just giving us the story and the situation, and then they say thank you, and then they take it back to you. Please, name the situation. You can give them the story, even if it's detailed and it's long, give the story, and then the task that you're hired to do in that company, and then the action that you took, and the results. Actually, the emphasis is on the results that you got when you're able to resolve. The action that you took and the results that you are able to resolve. The results that you're able to get so that you're able to get and resolve that. So this S is very important. You can skip the T, but A and R are very also important. So make sure that you mention the situation, the action that you took, and the results that you're able to get. What are the performance tips? Before the interview, please practice answers. You can use HireView. I think I've already shared the two sites. And then review the job description. Let it be in your DNA because you're going for an interview and you really want to get into this job. I normally say that if you get an interview, especially a human interview, you really need to be able to describe whatever it is that they need to hear from you so that you can get that role. And then know your keywords, know them, go and internalize and know the keywords. And I think I showed you yesterday how to integrate the keywords on your CV. The skills section, that was the day before yesterday. The skills section, it is very important that you master those keywords. And that is why you cannot master every CV that you're sending out. And that is why you really need to track your CVs so that when you get an interview invite, what you do is that you just go to that specific CV and know whatever it is that was written in the skills section. All right, this slide has been repeated. Um, Practice is everything. Record yourself answering whatever that you are answering before that video one AI interview, and then review. Do you have clarity? Are you presenting yourself with confidence? Are you presenting yourself with structure? One question that I normally ask people is that if I go on your LinkedIn or I go and check your 1 minute introductory, are you competing with someone in the UK, someone in the island, or are you competing with someone in Kahawa West? Let me say Kahawa West, those who stay in Kahawa West. All right. Some of you are writing CVs like you want to compete with people in Kahawa West, not even Nairobi. You cannot even compete with people in Nairobi. You're far away from competing with people in Nairobi. But now your CV is in its jurisdiction is in Kahawa West, but you want to send it outside to go and compete with people in Ireland. So practice, record that video, and ask yourself, does it really stand out? All right. So the common mistakes that you need to avoid is that don't speak too fast. It shows anxiety. When you speak too slow, it shows that you are not sure about what you're saying. Please have structure. Write down your notes. The best thing with working remotely or doing interviews remotely is that you can always write down whatever you want to say. And then please answer the questions that you've been asked. Don't create your own questions. All right? Don't get your own questions, answer them, and then have energy. Don't go there with low energy, all right, or with so much fear. Please have energy and the confidence that is required for you to get into remote work. So that's it about the AI interview. Does Sagan really hire Kenyans? It does, Evelyn. It does. And okay, anyone has a question about AI interviews before we go to now the normal interviews? Yes, Esther.
Hello, Joanne. Thank you for the chance. I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, when talking about these AI interviews, and you have also given us the questions that maybe you can be asked during the interview. Does those questions come before ama zinakujanga that time ya interview ama how does it happen?
Once you tap on that link, you're going to see the interview. They don't come before. When you tap on that link, and that
So
is why I told you that you have only 30 to 60 seconds to prepare. Like you're going to read the questions, 30 to 60 seconds to prepare, and then you have 1 to 3 minutes to answer.
also you have talked about recording the answers to the questions. How do you do it?
That is writing down, or
Oh, all right, I get it now.
sorry, I didn't get the question, so I was just asking for clarity.
Oh,
I'm just wondering how you moved on so fast. Ebu elaborate.
oh, so I was asking, you have talked about when you during the interview you record these answers to the questions. So I was asking, how do you do it? Do you do it with any tool that you can incorporate during the interview, or just record the answers in a paper?
So now, let me tell you one thing, Esther. We are living in a world where AI is here to help us how to do things in different ways. Um, so that is why I told you that you need to track, know which CV you sent where, and the job description. You can upload all those things on ChatGPT, and it's going to give you the possible questions that will come during an AI. Do you know even ChatGPT is an AI? So it's going to give you the possible questions that you might be asked for that interview. It can give you over 100 questions if you want, so that you can be able to master and prepare, so that you know when you're asked a question, this is a cue that is going to help you to answer that question. And this is how you're going to structure that answer to that question. And so it doesn't give you the chance to write down and be able to think through whatever you're supposed to say, but you can do that as you prepare for the interview. And that is why you really need to master the art of just tracking your applications. So from today onwards, even the accountability groups, once I finish, I think I'm going to tell you what you're going to do in the accountability groups. Please make sure that you track your applications. It's very important. Know which CV you sent where and the job description that you applied to, so that when you get such situations, you're able just to figure out through it. And Anastasia, you're still muted. All right. I don't know what's happening because her hand is up and she's not speaking, or it's me was an issue. So Pauline had asked about how to write proposal on platforms like Upwork. That was not part of this, but I'll try and answer it at the end of the session as the Q&A now. So let's talk about remote interviews and how to stand out. That is our next session. How do
Hi,
you
John.
start?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Sorry, can I ask my question?
Okay.
Okay, sorry for that. So I'm asking, there are some interviews that it's like a pre-recorded video, yes, but sometimes you cannot, I don't know, you can't keep track. So like it's a video recorded, you listen and then now you record. I don't know how to handle such interviews because sometimes it's a long sentence and keeping track of what he or she said in that long video, it's a bit hectic. So
So
how do you handle that?
it's a pre-recorded.
Sorry.
Oh, all right. But then there are two types of remote work that I didn't tell you. There is the sync type of remote work, and there is the async type of remote work. The sync type of remote work is the one that you log in timely. The ones that you hear people saying they work from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., or they log in at 9 p.m. to 1 a.m., whatever time, those ones are sync. The async type of remote work are the ones that you are told to deliver whatever it is that you're supposed um, to deliver, and then you meet once in a week. So that is the type of work that I do, because I work like 5 hours. I just supposed to decide what time I'm going to work, and then once I work, we meet once in a week to be able to review everything that we need to review together. I don't need to log in at a particular time that I need to log in at 4 p.m. or I'm supposed to log in at 8 a.m. No, so long as I'm able to deliver my work in the day, and then we meet once in a week to do a review and see how far we can get to the company. And so the same way with interviews, there is the sync type of interview where you log in together with the person that is doing the interview, and there's a sync type where you record and then they're going to listen at their own time. You record at your own time and then they're going to listen at their own time. And so when you get an interview and you get that there is someone who is speaking in the video and the sentence is too long, I think if you see, they normally communicate first that this is going to be an async type of interview. They're going to tell you that they're going to have a video, somebody is going to talk, and that person, whatever they're going to say, you're supposed to answer. And so I'll advise you that you go with a piece of paper and pen so that you may be able to record whatever it is they're mentioning. You don't have to record the whole sentence. You can pinpoint on whatever it is that they are. I know you know how to take notes. Just take notes so that they can be the cue to remind you whatever it is that they asked. And in these interviews, I think there are also a leeway of you repeating the question so that you can be able to internalize and be able just to answer whatever it is that they have said. Yeah, so that is my advice on that. Go ahead, Kusa.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Now, since you're talking about noting down the questions, is it advisable, let's say, like you're noting down the questions and maybe you have an answer? Don't you think that maybe if it's an interview that is pre-recorded for the
Mm.
interviewer, don't you think that they'll see you going back to your notes, then answering? Won't that be like let's say a hindrance to the interview, or it's something that is acceptable?
It is going
Maybe
to
you
be
can,
it's going to be a
sorry.
hindrance. It's going to be a hindrance, Kusa. And that is why I keep on repeating that when you're reading, you don't read like you're reading from a script. Those notes are just there to help you to get to whatever that place that you need to get to. Um, you don't have to be reading like I have a book here, and so you're asked a question and you're just answering, and it's just obvious that you're reading. You can actually place your book strategically that when you're asked, you just flip the paper and it's pinpoints, it's just pointers. You are not writing down everything that you're going to say. Tell me about yourself. You've written everything that you're going to you're writing down everything about yourself there. When you write down notes, what you're supposed to write as notes is that when you're told tell me about yourself, when you get a question tell me about yourself, this is how you're going to answer. Talk about who you are, what you do, and your value, so that it can give you a structure of flow. So you just say who you are, what you do, and the value that you're going to do. If you want to narrow down, you can say, today when I'm asked who I am, this is what I'm going to say. So you talk about education, career, and years of experience. What you do, you can now talk about your customer support. I know, Kusa, you are a psychologist. You can talk about psychologist uh, or a counselor, and then what is the value? You help people either in organizational psychologists, or you help people that are need counseling to come back to. I know you guys know what you do in psychology. So you just pointers to help you remember, because you're coming in, you have anxiety. Remember, everything can go. Everything that you've learned, everything that you've been practicing can just go with the wind. So it's just to help you, to give you pointers. It's not that now you're writing everything word for word that you're going to say. Hey, Atakama, you have the time. Will you sit down to just write everything word for word? To prepare for 100 questions, because you don't know which question is going to come. To be a waste of time. So just have pointers that are going to help you with that. Lastly, Esther, before we move to the next.
Okay. And regarding the pre-recorded interview, I was asking, can you integrate tools like Scribe and Auto to record those, to make work easier just for, yeah, like to make work easier? Know that we are living in a world full of AI, so if you know those tools, you can make work easier rather than writing down everything that you reduce the paperwork.
No, they won't allow you. Sometimes they even tell you to present your screen. There are companies that go extreme, that they tell you when you're doing the interview you need to present your screen, so that they know that they know they're let me tell you, AI is changing the world. So sometimes people go to remote interviews and they have an AI tool logged into the laptop, and this AI tool is able to decode whatever it is that is required in that answer, and it's able to give you the answers that you are going to give during that interview. So employers have already noticed that. So what they do is that they tell you to present your screen, so that they know that you're not being helped by other AI tools to do this. And imagine it's an AI interview, but they want you to present your screen so that they know. Even an interview, a normal interview with a human being, they'll tell you, please share your screen, so that they can be able to see. They can be able to see that you're not actually using other AI tools to facilitate that. All right, so let me go through the interviews with human. It's just the same as, it's not much. Maybe I'll just add some few things. Not far from the AI interviews. I know I've done much with the AI interviews, so this one is going to be easy. So interviews, be it physical or online, This is where opportunities are won or lost. You may have the skills, you may have the CV, you may have the application, but interviews are where the decisions are made. And I normally say, like someone like Annette, who is now almost, who is going for an interview with a CEO, I normally tell, when you get such an opportunity, please don't go back. Try as much as possible you close that deal when you're doing that interview, because you have been given a chance to speak about yourself, to speak about what you bring to the table, to speak about how best you can be able to add value for this company. And so now, don't go back. Don't go back. I normally say that interviews ni kujitetea. Umepewa chance ya kujitetea na mdomo. Yeah. So please make sure. I think all of us are Kenyans. I don't know. Okay. Sorry if you're not a Kenyan or if you're not in Kenya, but it's just a chance for you to just speak about what you do and explain your skills and expertise. And so the reality of interviews is that many candidates get interviews, but few candidates get offers. Why? Because you go there to ramble. You go there to give your wishy story instead of giving the results and the value that you're going to give to the company. The difference is not always skill. The difference is how you present yourself. And that is why I taught packaging. And I told you guys that the first class that I taught, which was packaging, it was the foundation and the basis of everything that comes with remote work. If you don't know how to present yourself and speak about what you offer and what you give to the company, the value, you are not going to get anywhere. You're not going to pass through the interview stage. Interviews are not just about what you know, they're about how you communicate. You might know quite a lot of things, but you also need to communicate those things. How do you communicate? That is what you're going to do today. So, when you are sitting in an interview, be it physical or online, employers are just asking, can you do the job? Can you do it? Can you communicate clearly? As you're coming into the company, can you even fit into their culture as a person? Because I saw a job advert on Brandwork where I keep on referring to it each and every time you've heard me. They said that they're looking for people who are fun and people who are easy to work with. If you're difficult to work with, when they notice you, they are going to drop you immediately. So they're also looking for someone who is fitting into the culture. But then they are very serious. If you check some job description, there's someone who told me that this job looks like a joke to me because of the job description. And like, that is their culture. They just love having fun and doing the work. And sometimes as Africans, we haven't embraced that culture of just having fun as we do the work. We want the hard things. And then that is about the team and fitting into the culture. So it's about competence plus the confidence that you have. Please, when you go for an interview, go with so much confidence, knowing whatever you offer. And I gave you an example of even when you go on social media, the people that are on social media, sometimes you wonder, how is this person making such huge amount of money? People are able to trust them, and they're just saying nonsense. Whatever they're saying don't have any value. It's because of the confidence. You can have confidence and present the wrong things, and people will just still follow you. But if you don't have confidence and you're presenting the right things, nobody is going to listen to you. But now this does not mean that you go and have confidence and present the wrong things. Please have confidence and go and present the right things to the employer that you're going to work for. So what makes remote interviews different? Remote interviews focus basically on communication skills, on self-confidence, on the environment setup. Yesterday, when you're doing the 1 minute introductory video, I think I showed you how you're supposed to set up. It is the same way, the way we set up when you're doing the 1 minute introductory is the same way we set up when you're doing the AI interview. It is the same way that we set up when you're doing the human interview. So have that background playing, look into the camera, sit where there is lighting, let your eyes be seen, smile slightly, don't overdo it, and also speak with confidence and eloquence when you're trying to do the interview with them. And then technical readiness. You're going to work remotely. If you're going to work remotely, guys, I think you know the basics of sometimes I normally say the basics is just uploading a document on Google Drive. I feel like that is the most least thing you need to know. There's so much you haven't learned about using Notion. You don't know how to use Slack. You don't know how to use ClickUp. So learn these things. You are judged visually and verbally. So present yourself as someone who really wants this job. So, how do you structure your answers? Why, sorry, did you need to structure your answers? So that you don't ramble and you don't confuse the person that you're talking to. You know, when I could have been rambling and everything around that, you could have just been confused and everything around that. And so you really need to see the person that is trying to listen to you from the other end is not confused, and you're picking this concept and now going to another one without even finishing the first concept. With structure, you're going to be clear, you're going to be professional, and you're going to be impactful. So have structure. Write down whatever you're going to say. And don't write down the whole thing. Tell me about yourself. And you write, my name is, until, like you're writing every detail. No, just have pointers. Pointers that are going to help you to communicate with structure so that you don't ramble and repeat yourself. Now, the STAR method also applies here. And you're going to get a lot of behavioral questions here. Behavioral questions, you're going to be asked according to your career. As a project manager, if you're a project manager here, maybe you'll be added advantage. You're going to be asked questions like how you dealt with a customer who was not satisfied with the project that you're supposed to deliver, a stakeholder who was difficult, a stakeholder who brought in something that was not in scope. How are you able to handle that? Um, those are the questions that maybe I'll ask a project manager when I'm trying to hire them, because that is in line with whatever we do. A time that you approve a budget and you notice that the budget was not enough for the things that you're supposed to do. So such things are going to come up. So those are the behavioral questions. You can tailor them to your career. Use the STAR method. What is the situation, the task, the action that you took, and the result? This is the best way to answer any behavioral question that comes up. And you're going to get quite a lot of them when it is interviews that you're going to do. Those are the questions that are being asked. Even right now, when you go on AI and ChatGPT to be specific, and tell it, I'm a virtual assistant, could you please give me 100 behavioral questions in my career? It's going to bring you and you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked that there are going to be 100 questions that can be possibly asked in an interview. And so don't wait for you to get an interview invite. Please, uh, I had someone saying on TikTok that you sit down every day and answer the question, tell me about yourself. Every day, like every day, just sit down and tell yourself and answer the question, tell me about yourself. Answer it every day, repeat it every day, every day, every day. The same way, pick one of those questions, be able to answer them using the STAR method, sorry, and be able to capture so that they can be in your DNA and it can be easy for you when you get into remote work or when you get an interview invite. So an example of a behavioral question is, tell me about your time that you are able to handle multiple tasks. So the situation is that you had multiple tasks or multiple deadlines. You can go ahead and mention the deadlines. Please, confidentiality is important. In as much as you are mentioning the tasks, don't go into details that are going to put the other employer or the other CEO because into picture. Because when you bring that, even this CEO is saying that, and they're saying, okay, so when you move from my company, this is how you're going to expose my company. And then the task, you are supposed to ensure that everything was completed. And then the action, you are supposed to prioritize and organize. When you have multiple tasks, we all know that you have to check which one is urgent and important. Important, you guys know those things. Important and urgent, not urgent, not important, and okay, I've forgotten the other one. Okay, you can go and check out. But now you prioritize. I know you know the prioritization matrix. And then you also organize tasks. And then the last part is now the results. You completed all tasks on time, or you're able to save time for that person. That is 30% of their time, or 2 hours of their time. You can actually say 2 hours or 3 hours of their time. Just include some numbers and metrics when you're talking about that. That is an example of a behavioral question. So why does STAR method work? It helps you so that you can stay organized. You don't trample. You know, have you ever gotten into an interview? You started answering a question and then something comes up into your mind and then you pick that thing and then you forget the other thing. By the time you leave the interview, you notice, by the way, how did I answer that question? how did I answer that question? You feel like you answered it the most weird way. So that you can stay organized and you don't trample and go everywhere. And then number two, it shows experience. It shows that actually you've worked on these projects, you've dealt with clients, you've dealt with CEOs. And so this is something that you can actually manage into your next role. And then the results and the value that the company is going to get when you get into their company. Employers love structured answers. So please just bring in the structured answers. All right, that is a repeated slide. So the technical mistakes that you have. Someone lost an interview recently and they told me it's because of internet. And this is the advice that I gave them. You guys, I don't know, I know some of you are in Nairobi, but those of you are not in Nairobi, I think I've traveled around, I've gone through Mombasa Road up to Mombasa, I've gone through here, Suswan, Narok, those routes. I've seen quite a lot of Java houses. The reason I'm saying that is because I want to bring in a concept. I've seen quite a lot of Java houses. So spot a place where you can go and have a good internet. You don't have to move next to a Java house. Okay, me, I just position myself. I think me, I just stayed and then I noticed that I have a co-working space around me and I have a Java house around me and there are quite a lot of restaurants around me. But if you don't have that liberty, just spot a place that you can go and have a good conversation and have a good interview. So that you don't have an internet connection or your place KPLC has been for the past 2 weeks has just been on and off, on and off, and on and off. Please don't tell yourself that day is the day that you're going to trust that internet that KPLC will behave. That day, just go to a Java house. And the reason why I'm saying a Java house is because in Java house, Dawa, that is the most cheapest thing in Java. It's 250 Kenyan shillings. You can just pay for that 250 and access their internet, which is good, and access their electricity. And sometimes you can actually take the screenshot of their internet and use it to present to your employer as the internet speed that you have. All right. I know sometimes you can say 250 is a lot of money, but for one day for an interview that you really expecting to get into to be paid over 1,000 USD per month, you can make that sacrifice for one day. You go and sit in a Java house, you buy a dawa for 250 shillings, and you get an access to the internet and electricity so that you can be able to do that interview. All right. Also, don't sit in a noisy place. You can have a silent place to sit into, or you can decide to have noise cancelling headphones. Notifications that are interrupting. Your phone is ringing in the middle of the interview, and it's the phone that you're using for the interview. My lord. Or sometimes you've logged in your WhatsApp. Those of you who have WhatsApp on your laptop and it has notification, please mute them. I think you guys have not had any WhatsApp notification since I started this class. And my WhatsApp is logged on here, and people are texting me left, right, center. But I've muted that WhatsApp notification so that it doesn't have to be every time I'm just hearing a sound of your WhatsApp. I mean, it's very irritating to keep on hearing notifications. Sometimes it's just a group, sometimes someone has just, please mute them. So always test your setup before you get into an interview. The common mistakes that you're going to make is that you think you're magically going to you're magically going to pass the interview without preparing for it. I know some of you have a lot of faith and you pray. Please, you need to also prepare for whatever you're praying for. So please prepare and then don't ramble answers. And that is why you need to have a structure of whatever you're going to say. And then have an eye-to-eye contact. Don't have a poor eye-to-eye contact. And I told you how to do it. Look into the camera of the device that you're using. Please don't look at yourself. And then the other thing is that don't have a weak confidence. The reason why you're having a weak confidence is that this is your first time you're doing it. But if you keep on practicing with the platforms that I've given you, you're going to grow and be able just to achieve whatever it is that you need to achieve. How do you stand out in a normal interview? Be clear, be confident, show your results. And I mean, if they're your results, so showcase them every time. I remember when I started out posting on LinkedIn, when I started out posting on LinkedIn, the first 3 months, I was just talking about how you're supposed to speak about your results confidently. And the reason why I was posting that is because I was in that season where I needed to tell myself that these are my achievements, and so it's okay when I speak about them. And then the other thing is that be professional. Most candidates are average, so I need you to be the best. Not even better, be the best. Most people are average, I need you to be the best. And then after the interview, ask smart questions. I normally say once you go through an interview, you'll be able to actually notice some things that they are asking that you can pick up a question from them. All right. So, for example, someone will ask you, are you able to juggle multiple tasks? All right. And then once you answer that, when you finish, the smart question can be, how much work do you guys have here? It's a smart question. Or how many hours of investment do you guys want for this person? Or is there a bonus for those who are going to extend hours through that? Those are the smart questions that are related to the multiple tasks. Or working under pressure. You've been asked, tell us a time where you were working under pressure. You can ask them how much pressure is pressure. All right. Okay. Don't ask them how much pressure is pressure. You can tell them in a nice way to just explain the amount of work that is there and how much you are expecting in terms of pressure from that company. So ask, what does success look like for this role? Ask about the growth opportunities for this role. You're coming in as a virtual assistant to the CEO. Is there a growth opportunity? Is there something in store for you as a person? This is a fintech company. They are building a finance AI tool. All right. They haven't yet communicated the markets they want. Maybe they're only in the US. You can ask them, actually be interested in whatever they are offering. Are you guys, you're in Kenya? All right. Just ask it, even if it's something that it looks stupid, just ask them, are you guys planning to bring that tool in Kenya so that you can use it? They'll be like, this is someone who's interested in the company. And then what are the next steps after this interview? You can also ask them that so that you can show interest to the company in some level of professionalism. Don't also go beyond the level of professionalism. All right. Okay, so let me take some few questions. Remote sites that I can find accounting and finance jobs. I said this yesterday, Evelyn. We had Brandwork, we had Inclusively Remote, we had LinkedIn. Yes, you can check on those three. Really impressed. Thank you so much, Esther. All right, let me start with you, Esther, now that your hand has been up.
Right. I must comment that I'm very impressed with the way you're presenting to us. You're getting something in store. So I'll ask about posting on LinkedIn, and so can you tell us more about the things that we need to post on LinkedIn, like yeah, and also apart from Loom, another tool that you can use to record the one meeting introductory. Then also, would you please share the links for the AI interview tools kindly, if you don't mind?
Okay. I think I love
All
it.
right.
Okay, apart from Loom, there's Vocaro. I've just shared the name, but this is mostly voice note. I think most of the times you've been using Loom. I've never heard about another tool, but anyway, I'll check out and research and just be able to share because we're still maintaining the group. The sites, I've shared the names. I'll share. Do you want me the names because you're going to have the slides anyway? I don't know, but anyway, let me see. I can't promise tomorrow and Sunday are my rest days. I can't promise I'll be able to add anything and do that. Maybe I'll do it on Monday. Let me do it on Monday to send them. I think tomorrow and Sunday I have already things that are scheduled to be done in my few hours of work. And then now posting on LinkedIn, what do you post? Your experiences. Virtual assistant. I know you're a virtual assistant. Let me take virtual assistant. I told you guys that you can do mock-up projects on um, you can do mock-up projects from ChatGPT. You can share an experience that you've learned from that mock-up project. What is it you're learning? You have gone through Lex training as a virtual assistant. You learned about different tools. There's a time that Lex sent you to on YouTube and you watched a tool. You share about that tool. You share what does email management entail? What does calendar management entail? And if you're able to understand the problem that your clients or your potential organizations are going through, you're able to actually, let me tell you guys, if you want to S in the remote work space, especially on LinkedIn, and you would want to start posting on LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn is a whole topic. I used to have masterclasses to teach about LinkedIn, but I stopped. What we used to do is that what I used to tell people is this, and I can still tell you, it's the thing that I normally do every time when I post on LinkedIn. Understand the problem that people are going through. Be a master of it. And then create that problem for them. It's a problem they already have, but they don't know. So you have to be on their face telling them, I know you guys are going through this. Yeah, you're an accountant. You know these organizations are struggling with e-teams, mine being one of them, struggling with e-teams, struggling with paying payrolls, do tax laws, and everything around that. I know you guys are going through this because some people don't know they are going through them, but they just want someone to tell them and tell them how they are solving. So tell them this is what they are going through, and this is how you're solving the problem, and this is what solving that problem is going to save them. That is the first thing. Number two, what are the tools that you use for communication, for project management, for calendar management? How do you do email management? Why should someone consider someone to do for them email management? What about itinerary planning? All those things. Kusa is asking how often should one post on LinkedIn? As much as you want to. There's someone who posts, me, I'm not able to do that. There's someone who posts on LinkedIn every 2 hours in a day. You can actually schedule content on LinkedIn. I know you guys don't know that. You can schedule content once 3 months on LinkedIn. Like today, when I sit down, today is April, I can be able to schedule content up until July of 17th. And so there's someone who has scheduled content every day, every 2 hours, every 1 hour, there's something going up. But please also maintain relevance because sometimes you might be posting all those things. I saw someone who does every 1 hour and they don't have relevance. Like the posts do not have the weight. And there's someone who does once in a day and they are able to actually bring the relevance that they need to bring on LinkedIn. And then number two, if you're starting out, because I think I did your LinkedIn. It's not that active. I've gone through it. So that means that when you're starting out, just start out with like 3 posts in a week. Schedule those 3 posts in a week. And then later on, just increase the frequency as time demands. And then when you're scheduling those posts and posting them, please also communicate what is it that you want people to get from you. Because sometimes you might be posting and you're not telling people what you want. And so they're just reading your post and going wherever they go. So also be able to communicate what is it that you want. Yes, and go ahead.
I was asking when you have like an assessment. Yesterday we were talking about following up. So in the case whereby you've done an assessment, okay, you have like first phase of the interview whereby you had an interview, like it's like a donor screening, they call it screening. So there's first thing, there's screening, and then they give you like an assessment after you've done the gorilla test. And then how do you follow up with that after an assessment? Is it the same structure you taught us yesterday, or how do you follow up with that?
You follow up
Yes.
with the same. I think I gave you a follow-up email after you've done an interview or you apply for a job and you haven't gotten any response. You can just send that email to them.
How frequent should you do that? Let's say for an assessment. For me, as an accountant, I did an assessment, and then how long should you wait in terms of time frame for them to get to you?
2 weeks. 2 weeks after the job application has been closed, not 2 weeks after your application. You know, some jobs have been advertised for 1 month. And then you apply as the first person. After 2 weeks, it's still on. So you wait first for the job to be closed, and then you give them 2 weeks because after 2 weeks, I think the HRs have already gone through the applications and they know.
Those things do give me anxiety. Oh my God.
It's a new concept. And if something is new, it's going to give you anxiety. I don't think that is the human nature. You just need to know that it's okay. If something is new, it's going to give you fear and anxiety every time. Yes, Esther.
All right. Yeah, I have a question about maintaining your social media visibility. Does it mean that we have to be on the social media platforms like Facebook, or you are telling people what you do, what they gonna expect from you, like Also Instagram, you are there. So like in every platform that people are there or people can be influenced, you need to be there. Does it work that way, or there's a way you doing some kind of like you're controlled in some way or in some manner?
Social media visibility is very good, Esther. I'll not lie to you. In my personal experience, it has really accelerated my career trajectory. Um, my network, my finances, and everything, and my growth as a person and confidence and everything around that. But there's a fact that not everyone is a social media person. Um, and so I want to tell you that you have to be in all social media pages. Sometimes I hear people say you have to be visible, you have to be on LinkedIn and everything. Yes, you have to. It's a good thing. I would recommend. But if you're not a social media person, please you have to look for other ways. That means that you will have to be in people's DMs now, looking for jobs. You don't have to be on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and everywhere if you're looking for a job on virtual assistant. Those are people who just want to build their personal brand. Those are people who have decided to get into personal branding as a career of their own. Because if you see someone who has decided to be active on all those pages, that is someone who's building a personal brand. But for you, are looking for a job. If you're looking for a job and you're just content with looking for a job, then you can consider um, that after that. Just a minute, guys. I need to take care of something. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I have a toddler in the house, and I've just noticed that she has turned my house upside down. I just went to check, but anyway. So now I was saying, whatever I've seen in there, I think you need to pray for me after this because where? So now, if you want to be on social media, that is what I was talking about. So if you want to be on social media as a personal branding person, you can decide to post everywhere that you want to post and be able to share that. It's only for personal people who want to build their personal brand, which is something that is so good. It's going to accelerate you, especially in terms of your confidence, your career, and in terms of your finances and your network. But if not, you can consider just to be in people's DMs and do the application so that you can get the job that you want to get. So that is my view about whatever you've asked, Esther. So can Sarah is saying, can you help someone tailor make their LinkedIn to attract headhunters? I normally do LinkedIn optimization, Sarah. So yes. Then you asked us about our social media pages. What was the reason? Do they check our handles now? So I think this is through the Google form that you sent. When I asked about your social media pages, that question I just put there for fun, just to know where my people are coming from. That's all. It's not that I went to check. It's not that we check. For me, I just asked so that I can just know, is this person on all social media pages or they're just on LinkedIn? That's all. Someone told me that it's very hard for Sagan to hire in Africans. Is it true? No, it's not. I have had quite a lot of people. I have had like 2 people this year have gotten into jobs in Sagan. They are very strict in the application. Let me just be honest with you. They are very strict in the application, and they need to see the value that you're going to bring for the company, and they need to see what is it that you can do for the company. That is why they are the first people actually to integrate AI interviews. They are very strict in the applications process because they want to get the best people for their clients. And if you check Sagan's salary range, I know they put their salary. You can go and check the platform. It's not a joke. The salary that they pay even their executive assistants, it's a lot of money. It's not a joke. And so that means that it's highly competitive and they're taking the best candidates in. So you have to present yourself. I've had 2 people that have gotten into Sagan, Evelyn, this year. Let her make noise in your presence. When in another room alone, it's quiet and it's drama. All right. Where my room has been turned upside. I put her on bed to sleep, and I've just noticed that she was not sleeping. And I don't know what I'm seeing. Consolata, you can go ahead and ask questions that you would want to ask.
Thank you, Joanne, for the interactive section. I think I've learned so much. And my question is, I think you've taken us through the entire process of optimizing your LinkedIn, tailoring your CV, and every other process to get you into the short list. My main challenge is I've already gotten into the short list. I've already passed the first recruiter interview, but I'm constantly bouncing on the client interviews. I don't know what's happening with that. There's even one interview that I did and I aced it. Okay, the mood, because you can always tell from the interview and the mood of the recruiter and the mood of the client. It was so positive, but I got a regret and I was like, oh God, so what am I going to do? Or rather, what am I doing wrong? Because I was almost 100% sure I'd gotten that job.
Do you reply to them and ask for feedback?
Yes, I do.
Do they
Like,
get
for instance, most of the ones that have gotten a regret back, that have had an interview with the client and had a regret back, I didn't even have to like ask for. We just concluded and they told me that they will get back to me in 2, 3, maximum 4 days. They always email back.
Okay. I know you went for a recent interview, the one that we had a conversation about.
After that, I even had another one and another one. I've had like almost 4.
Oh my. And did you email the one that we discussed about? I know we had a meeting before you went for that. Did you email them and ask them about their feedback?
Yes, I did. They just told me that there was another candidate who was way better.
Okay.
Evo too.
All right. So I wanted to give an unpopular. I think I was supposed to tell you this when we were having the phone call that you were supposed also to email them and give them feedback about their behavior, because I know what behavior they did.
Yeah.
So in context, for those of you who are here, she had an interview scheduled, and then she was called 1 hour before the interview to join the interview. It was an impromptu, and they didn't give an explanation why they picked, why they went 1 hour before the desired time or the time that they had scheduled. And so if you get such a thing, it's a bad behavior. And they didn't give her explanation, or they didn't even give her a listening ear. So when things have cooled down, it's now 2 weeks. Mimi, I can help you to tailor that email so that you can send it back to them so that they can have good behaviors when they're hiring people. And they say this is the time that they're supposed to have interview, they put interview time at the same exact time. But if you are getting to interview section and you are not getting, there are normally stages of remote work. If you are sending applications and you are not getting any interview invitation, then that means that the problem is in the application process. If you get an interview invite, then that means that the problem is in the interview. And so maybe Consolata, in as much as there is a positive mood and you feel like this is something that you've aced in, you can evaluate yourself with the tips that I've given. What is it that I'm doing wrong to not get to whatever the client want? Is it that when I get at that point, you have anxiety and everything gets out of your mind and now you remain alone? You can actually sit down and just ask yourself about those questions, because I think for you, it's not the application process, it's the interview process that now has an issue to get there. Or sometimes during the interviews, you are speaking and negotiating salary with those people. Is it a salary issue also? Because sometimes maybe the rates are too high or they are too low. You can also sit down and just evaluate. There's quite a lot of things that you can be able to evaluate that. Number one, how you're answering the questions. Number two, how you're presenting yourself. Number three, it can be maybe your light is not enough, and that is what is causing the biasness, um, or everything around that. So those are the things that I can be able just to advise you through that.
Okay, but okay, I think I'll talk to you after we are done with this session, if that's okay with you.
It's okay. You can give me a call.
Okay.
All right. So let me finish. I have two more class sessions. I'm going to combine the two of them. The last one is actually just an action plan I had created for you guys. So we're going to talk about salary negotiation, getting paid what you deserve without fear. So this session is just going to can change your income, and two people can do the same job but earn very different salary. And I think you've seen that in many people who do the applications, or in companies, that you can be even doing more than whatever someone else is doing and they're being paid more. The difference is just how to negotiate your salary through that. So the reality about salary is that most people accept the first offer. You're told you're going to be paid 100 USD, and you're like, okay, and you finish that way. You feel afraid to negotiate. And sometimes you even undervalue yourself. You've been in the workspace for 20 years and you're being paid 100 USD and you're just okay with it. So you have undervalued yourself. The result is that you're going to have a low income. You're going to miss quite a lot of opportunities because of that. And let me tell you, the reality is that employers are expecting you to negotiate. If you don't, you're leaving the money on the table. And sometimes they're saving the company money, but sometimes I just feel that they're hurting the company, because someone who is not paid well is someone who is going to hurt the company. So now, why does negotiation matter? It helps you to earn more money. It helps you to show confidence, and then it helps you to set your value, and it helps you to actually build a long-term income growth. Negotiation is not something that you're going to do just as you get into remote work. Negotiation is something that you're going to do 1 year after getting into that remote work, and you need a salary raise. So small increase now, big impact later. So you might need a salary raise, but since you don't know how to negotiate, you're still being paid like someone who was being paid 3 years ago. All right. So you really need to know how to negotiate and build your income growth. The biggest myth that people have is that if you negotiate, you're going to lose a job. Nope. If you're a professional, you have to negotiate and you have to do it in a respectful way. Employers are expecting you to negotiate, by the way, guys. They are expecting you to negotiate. Unless you get that one who is very rigid, they are expecting you to negotiate. So now, as long as you're respectful, negotiation will not cost you the job that you're applying for. So include respect in your negotiation. What is the best time to negotiate? You cannot just negotiate everywhere. The best time to negotiate is after you receive an offer, unless when you're doing an interview and you're told about the salary and now the negotiation has been put together with the interview, then that means that you can negotiate at that stage before the offer. But if not, wait for the offer and then negotiate. Because if you negotiate too early in the process, you might actually not get the results that you need to get through that negotiation. So before the offer, you have no leverage. After the offer, it is clear that they want you. And that is now your power moment. If someone has extended to offer you so that you can be able to solve a problem for them in their company, that is an indication that they want you. So that is where you come in as a powerful person to help with that. The signs that you need to negotiate is that number one, you negotiate if the offer is below your expectation. You're being paid, you're expecting to be paid 100 USD and they have given you 800. Try and negotiate and get it to 900. All right. And then you have the relevant skills. Sometimes if you don't have the confidence and the skills and the values that you're bringing in, you will not be able to negotiate because you're like, so long as I don't have the virtual assistant skills. So have the relevant skills to actually be able to negotiate. And then be sure that you can bring clear value because sometimes you're not able to negotiate because you don't have the value that you're bringing in. If they made an offer, they see your value. If they made an offer and sent you an offer letter, they see your value. And please, guys, if you receive an offer letter, those of you who are on social media, don't post. I think I made a post about that today on LinkedIn, and I shared it everywhere on my social media pages. That please don't post your offer letter on those places. It's discretion. It's going to make you lose a job or lose whatever it is that you're supposed to lose. You can lose actually a job, and it's HRs. Someone say HRs will get to heaven when they're tired, and sometimes I feel it's true. So how do you respond to salary questions? So the most question that you'll be asked is that what is your salary expectation? Actually, that is how you're asked. What is your salary expectation? And this question can determine your pay. All right. So maybe the company has a budget of paying you 100 USD. You have come 1,000 USD. You have come. You have said 700 USD. They'll be like, okay, we can take it. That is within our budget. We can take you. Yeah. So instead of answering with exact number 700 USD, you need to answer it in a different way so that you can be able to match the company's expectation. So the mistake to avoid is that don't give a low number quickly. You're going to limit yourself. Don't give a number quickly. If you're asked, what is your salary expectations? I normally ask that. I know for those of you who have come for one-on-one with me, I normally ask, how much do you want to be paid? And someone tells me, I want to be paid 120,000 Kenyan shillings. You've already given the number. So that is it. The smart response is that you have an option one, first delay, and tell them I'm open to discussing salary based on the role and responsibilities. Or you can ask them what is the budget for this role in your company. So know how to negotiate. Keep your options open so that they can also answer. There's a time that I did that trick to a company and they told me, no, we want you to answer the question first. It's okay, you can give a salary range. You can give a range. So the first option is first. Invite them to give you their amount, the salary range. All right. You might be giving out that you want to be paid 1,000 USD, and the company budget is 3,000 USD. And one day when you're working to that company, you are like, oh my God, what did I do when I was doing the interview? Yeah, because you didn't give them the option to actually them saying what is the range that they're going to pay. Option B, please provide a range. If they haven't given you, so for example, they ask you what is your salary range, you're going to tell them what is your, it depends on the expectations that you have for this company. If not, they're not going to answer you. You can tell them based on my skills and the roles, I'm looking a range between X dollars of amount up to Y dollars of amount. Don't give an exact range. And make sure that when you're giving the exact range, the amount that you exactly want to be paid, it should be the least. Should be the least. So that when they settle on that, you're comfortable when you're going home. So that you're not telling people maybe you want to be paid 100 USD and you're telling them between 600 USD to 1,200 USD. And then now they settle on 600 USD. So when they settle on 600 USD, you feel so pinched because there's another 400 up there that you wanted and you are not given. So always negotiate. The low amount should be what you want to be paid. Always give a range and not a fixed number, because when you give a fixed number, it will be so difficult for them to make a decision. Why does range work? It shows flexibility. Even if the company was not willing to pay that amount of money, they start negotiating in between the brackets. And then it leaves rooms for negotiation. So you're able to have a conversation with the employer and be able to just negotiate within the brackets that you've given And sometimes they might be thinking a low amount and they'll say, actually, we can afford the amount that she's saying, so let us give that to her. And then sometimes it positions you professionally. So after receiving an offer, the first response is that you need to say, so this I've told you, it happens best when you've received an offer letter. If you are asked during the interview, is when now you can have the negotiations with them around that. But after you've received an offer letter, this is how you proceed. The first response is that you have to thank them for the offer. Thank you so much for the offer. I'm excited about the opportunity. And this is now when you haven't sat down to negotiate the salary. So you guys had an interview and then you've been told, congratulations, you've been taken in for the role. This is your offer letter, and we would want you to join our company. So the first response should be, thank you so much for the offer. I'm excited about this opportunity. And no, you are thanking them, knowing that you're also going to negotiate. Always start with an appreciation. Sometimes you want to negotiate, please, please, please start with an appreciation first. And then tell them, based on my experience and value that I bring. So that means that you also need to know the value. You remember, guys, the unique value proposition that I told you guys to try to write? Yes, it comes in. I told you it was the foundation of everything. Because if you're able to communicate the value and say, based on my experience and the value that I bring, I was expecting something in the range of X amount of dollars to Y amount of dollars. Is there flexibility on the offer? Or you can tell them, I am very interested in this role. Considering my skills and experience, will it be possible for you to adjust the offer to a certain, or you can tell them first, adjust the offer before you tell them the certain amount, so that you can have that. It's a negotiation. If they say no, respond professionally. So if they say no, also don't go MIA. Because they have refused your offer, and now you're like, okay, let's wait for the onboarding. No, just tell them, thank you for clarification. I'm still interested in the role, and I'll be happy to move forward. You've tried to negotiate, and actually it has shown them you're professionally and confident about what you offer, and so they're not also going to play about with you. Keep the relationship positive with them. Keep the relationship positive. So how do you express confidence in negotiation? Number one, people really fear negotiation, and I think it's in the human nature. I keep on talking about the human nature because I've been learning about the human nature for the past 1 year. We really fear the rejection, and then new things bring fear and anxiety. We don't want to step into the new things because it brings a lot of fear and anxiety. So even those of you who are moving from physical job into remote work, I know you have some fear and anxiety. It's okay, but you have to move regardless of the fear and the anxiety that you have. And so people fear negotiation because they fear, number one, rejection. I mean, nobody wants to be rejected. It's not normal to be rejected. And then number two is that you lack confidence. Number three is that you don't know what to say. Sometimes you don't know what to say, so you cannot be able to negotiate. So you really need to shift your mindset. Instead of saying, I hope they accept me, tell them, I bring value to this role. I'm the one who is valuable in this company. So have that level of confidence. Don't just say, I hope they accept me. Have that level of confidence. And then know your value. Your value comes from your skills, your experiences, and the results that you're going to give them. And that is why communicating the unique value proposition is very important, and not just your title. The things of saying, I'm an accountant, I'm a psychologist, they are ending today. Please speak your value and not just your title. This is a repeated slide. So how do you negotiate? What is the strategy? Please also don't have unrealistic expectations. You are just getting into the VA space and you want to be paid 500,000 Kenyan shillings. I mean, man, and you're just starting out. Yeah. Can you be realistic? So before negotiation, please do your research. Where do you research? I normally recommend Indeed. If you go to Indeed, which is a platform, it's a job platform. Indeed has price tags the salary ranges for each and every role. So you can just decide to go and search someone if you're a junior. I think we already did this in the first class. If you know junior, senior, and mid-level, who is the intermediate. If you are a junior level person, a junior level person is paid such amount of money if the company is in the US or if the company is in Ireland, or if the company is in South Africa. So know the salary ranges in each and every country. Okay, you might not be able to master, but if you get an interview invite, go and research and check out. If you are an intermediate professional, you can go also and check out the pricing in all in the marketplace that you're going to. Use Indeed, use LinkedIn. Also, LinkedIn has those salary. And then if you're a senior level person, also check that. And I think I gave you years to check on that. And then research. If you're researching, also know the company you're going to work for. Is it a healthcare startup? Is it a senior level, a mid level? All right. Is it a multi-billion company? So that if you're going to negotiate with them salary, you're not negotiating with a startup amount that you're supposed to be charging a multi-billion company. And then when you go for a multi-billion company, you're charging them the money that you're supposed to charge a startup company. Do your research well and know what is it that you're going to work for. And then also know the industry rates, know the expectations of the role that you're going to do. Ask about the expectations of the role, especially when you're doing an interview. Because sometimes you might have the expectations there, the job description is there, but after that, you're going to get quite a lot of work that you're going to do. That you'll be saying, this amount that I'm being paid, I'm being underpaid. Knowledge is equal to power. All right. Focus on value and not need. So don't say I need money. Say based on the value that I bring, this is what I'm supposed to be paid. And always focus on the value and not the money. All right. So knowledge is power. I've just said that right now. But knowledge can turn into a dump site. So you can turn your brain into a dump site if you don't put that knowledge in action. So knowledge plus action is equal to power. Knowledge alone is not going to help you with anything. You're just going to turn your brain into a dump site. And so that is why I've given out the 30-day action plan. I was supposed to send out the accountability groups today. I have seen the request of those who have said that they're not going to be in the accountability groups. Disclaimer, the accountability groups are going to be only for those who signed up for the masterclass. For my students that I'm doing one-on-one, they get into remote work package. I'm not going to put you in accountability because I want to deal with you directly. I want to be your coach directly to deal with you so that I may be able to see as many of you to get into remote work. But for those who signed up for the masterclass, the 3 days, our 3 days journey end here. But I would want to put you in accountability that I can be checking in once in a while to see how the progress that you're getting into remote work. And so this is the wrap up, the 30-day action plan, how to turn everything you've learned into results. This is the most important session. And I know I brought it as the last point, but it's the most important. Everything you've learned, the value for your money, only matters when you take an action. Today, I was running a Q&A session to ask people, have they ever been scammed in terms of remote work? And I got quite a lot of people telling stories of how they paid a coach and they were not able to get any value out of it. And sometimes I don't want to pick sides. I might pick the side of the coach or I might pick the side of the student. But I normally say that sometimes you can get into a session, you are taught, and then after you're taught, you move on with your life like nothing happened. Like literally nothing happened. And then you come and say what? You tried out and it never worked. And so, guys, I'll tell you that knowledge plus action is equal to power. So you have to put in the action. I've given you the blueprint. Everything I've given you is everything you need to know to get into remote work. Everything is on those slides. Everything is in the recording that I've given you. The recordings will be there for at least some time before I pull them down. And so go and revisit if you missed up on a point so that you can be able to get this clear. The truth about success, information does not change your life. Action does. So whatever we've done in the 3 days, I've given you information. So from tonight, the action, whatever you're going to do is what is going to change your life. Whatever action, if you have not worked on your CV and if you have not packaged yourself or you've not done, actually there are people who chose not to even send the UVP. It's okay. I know you haven't sat down, you've been busy, you've been running, you've been having emergencies in town, in CBD, remote workers na emergencies in CBD. I don't know. So you've been running to CBD, you've been having emergencies. So I understand. So now from tomorrow, please let those emergencies end so that you can be able to start acting on them. Start with the packaging, do your CV, do your LinkedIn, practice the 1 minute introductory, practice the interview, practice the AI interview, how you're going to negotiate, and then practice how you're going to present yourself when you're called for a role or something that you want to do. So learning without action is equals to no results. Learning plus action is transformation. Many people attend training but never implement. And that let that not be any of you, the 28 of you. I know the 12, I'm going to deal with them. I have them um, every week. So I'm going to deal with them. But the 28 of you, actually you're 27 because someone has already crossed to the other 12. So the 27 of you, please put in the action and try as much as possible to be able to implement whatever we've learned. So what you've learned, the bigger picture in the 3 days was just how to package yourself to create a strong CV. We've done it practically how to create a CV. We've done optimization practically. I've even given you prompts. And then you've used AI for applications. I did that practically. Where to find jobs, how to pass interviews, how to negotiate your salary. You know everything. You now have everything that you need. So it's up to you. It's up to you. And the reason why I am having the accountability is that you're not able to do this alone. You need someone to help you to walk the journey with. And so the accountability groups are going to help you to keep on having encouragement. If you get a rejection, if you your accountability group is going to decide you're going to meet once in a week, you can tell them and share with them how you got a rejection, how you're discouraged, and they're able to encourage you so that you can pick up yourself and continue. If it is you're meeting twice in a week, you can be able to share those things. So you're going to decide how long you're going to take before you meet. It can be online, please. It's online. Mrs. Kia, you guys went to meet in town in CBD and then you are scammed your laptop and everything around that because I don't know if one of you here. Yes, people can be doing some fishy businesses here. But once you build the rapport and you would want to meet physically, it's okay, you can go ahead. The missing piece is now consistency. Results come from daily action, repetition, and improvement. That is what you're supposed to do. Most people fail because you start strong. So tomorrow, everyone of you, I know it's Saturday. Apart from my SDF friends who are here, the rest of you will be in the house. If not in the house, those who are not going to work, busy applying. And then when you get to next week, Saturday, you've lost the consistency. Please, please, guys, choose to apply like 2 jobs in a day, just 2, and do that every day. Don't sit down and apply for 50 tomorrow and then you disappear for 1 month. Just do 2 and then the next day 2. That is how consistency. And then don't get discouraged. You're going to be rejected. I did a whole video on how, for me, I got an interview and I was offered a job that I never joined, that I was ghosted up until today. I never joined the job. So I think that is can be the worst scenario. And we're here, we're still working remotely. So don't quit. Don't quit. So you're closer than you think, but don't many people stop too soon. So don't stop too soon. So this is your daily routine. Just have 1 to 2 hours. And how this works is that you need to schedule a time. If you need something to work, tell yourself every day 5 a.m. I'll be waking up to 6 to apply for jobs. Or you can tell yourself before I sleep, 9 p.m. to 10, it's for me to apply for jobs. Or you can say your lunch hour have now been dedicated to applying for jobs. All right? Apply for jobs, have some LinkedIn activities, just interact with LinkedIn. Actually, LinkedIn is going to open up your mind about remote work as a whole. That is why I recommend LinkedIn. Just have some small daily efforts which are going to equate to big results. And I really want to see you guys at the top. I really want to see you guys getting into remote work. I hope this really works out. If your accountability group does not, tomorrow I'm going to send the list of the accountability groups and some action plan for the accountability groups. If it doesn't work out, you can just call me. No, text me. Don't call me. Just text me on WhatsApp, and maybe I can shift you to our accountability group that is active so that you can be able to pick up from there. If you're here, we still haven't finished the list, and you feel like you will disappear and ditch people, please tell us so that we don't put you in the accountability group. Just tell us early. You know yourself. Just open up and tell us, by the way, mimi na mimi nitakuja kwa ditch. Or if you're not able to commit, I know one of us here who is sick. She recently got into an accident, and I'm not going to put her. Maybe after she's okay, we will put her in a group that will be at her level, because she's already behind because of the accident. So if you have such an issue, just feel free to reach out. We'll be able to slot you. The masterclass will be going on monthly. So that means that if right now she's not able to get into an accountability group because of because of the accident that she got, that means that if she's okay in the middle of May or June, I can be able to give her a group that will be on the same level as her. So speak up if your accountability group is not going to be good for you. And please don't come and tell you cannot be able to work with that person. That is not a valid reason for you to change. Please just figure out how you're going to work with those difficult people, because you're going to work with them in a job setup. So try and figure out how you're going to work with them. But for if they are just quiet, they're not doing their part, that one you can change it to an active job, an active community. So this is your weekly reflection. Ask yourself every week, what has worked, what didn't work, what you can improve, and the growth that comes from the reflection. You can just be able to see that. If you try that every week, you can do this at a personal level and you can do this at the group level. All right. Now, how much is the remote work package? It's 10,000, Evelyn. What job opportunities or sites would you recommend for software developer? We work remotely in Dishu. On Dishu, I have a message that I haven't. Sorry. I'll reply tomorrow. I won't promise you that I'm gonna read the email today. I think nilisoma my email and I felt it was fully packed. I couldn't be able to declare it. But tomorrow I'm going to reply to you. Yeah. But you can check we work remotely. You can check Jobspresso. And there is another one. I don't know, between Himalayas and there's another site. But now for you, I think I have a pending message. I'm going to reply you together with that. All right. Now we've come to the end of the class. It's exactly 10 p.m. I'm going to borrow some few minutes of yours so that I can be able to answer queries and be able to take up some feedback from you guys. Feel free. Definitely, Anne. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Joanne. So I was asking, what is this you laughing? I'm an active student, guys. So I
Okay.
was to ask, if we have like an accountability champion, and then will we have like a separate group to just check in, or how are we going to go about that? And then if we have an accountability partner, does it mean they're under our specialization? For instance, me, I am an accountant, so I'm not sure whether I'll be paired with an accountant or non-accountant, or how does the coordination works.
If Anne does not have a question, we have to find out kama kosawa. That is from Charity, Anne. You're a good student. Thank you for keeping my class live. Because you know, when you teach and then you don't have a question, you start doubting yourself as a teacher. Thank you so much. You and Esther have really kept this class very active. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to put accountability according to careers. And that is why it has delayed. We wanted to do it today. It's just that I've noticed today I had so much on my plate, I couldn't. But tomorrow, I normally work on the weekends for 2 hours. Yeah, but that has already been scheduled for. So msiniambie mnataka CV kesho. I will not be able to get it for you. So we are going to do that. It's part of the things that we're going to do that tomorrow. so that we can be able to put you together. An accountant and an accountant, it's better. But if we don't get someone in accounting, we put you together with someone that at least have the same trajectory as you. And then the other thing is that the accountability group is just to share the challenges that you're going through. You don't have to be in the same. I'm going to give the deliverables and what you need to do in the accountability groups. Well, I'm going to share that you're not supposed to be in one career. It's not important, but just to keep you, you need someone to hold your hand. I've heard that people say these coaches don't hold your hand. So imagine we can't do that for everyone. I also have a limit. In as much as right now I can say I have 12 people here who I'm working one-on-one with, the limit is 15. I cannot get beyond 15 because that means I will not be effective. So once I hit 15, I normally tell the rest of the people can wait for someone to get a job first before we bring in another person. So that is what happens. And so sometimes holding each other with someone that you're on the same journey with, it's better than having a coach to do that for you. Kindly check WhatsApp tomorrow. I've sent you a message. Yes, WhatsApp I'll check tomorrow. Right now, as I've told you, I have quite a lot of things to deal with in my bedroom. I don't know what's happening there, but I've seen quite a lot. Esther?
All right. First is to thank you so much for the journey that you have been taking us through those 3 days. Most of us, this is one of the New Year's resolution. This is what you are planning to do this new year. You are praying so much that it may come to pass. I was asking if you finish this training session. Will we be allowed to ask you some questions off guard? Kama hayupo tunaweza kuwa tunakuuliza maswali, we can share our CVs with you to check for us if we have done the best.
I just want to know why people laughing. You guys were laughing. Why are you guys laughing? Esther nawatetea na mnacheka. Anyway, yes, Esther, you can ask me questions, but I would really request for your patience. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed with those messages. I said that the messages, I'm not delegating them to someone, even an assistant to do them, because I want to have that personal touch with each and every one of you in your journey. So that one is something that I said I'm not going to delegate. So so that I may be able to answer some of, because if I have an assistant, if I meet you, let's say Kusa, because I'm gonna use you so much. So let's say Kusa, who we meet weekly, and then she asks something on my WhatsApp, and then she notices that someone is a virtual assistant has answered the message, and now it loses the track and everything around that. So I request much of your patience when it comes to those questions. I normally prioritize the ones that I work with, the one-on-one people, the 12 that are here. Those are the ones that I normally prioritize and answer first. But the rest of you, I get to answer you, but you need much patience with that. What happens is that the message won't take more than 24 hours before it is answered. But you need some patience. So yes, Esther, you can go ahead and do that. Pauline.
Hi, Joanne and everyone. Okay, thank you so much for the journey. I'd really like to appreciate you for the patience and the journey you have taken us through. I would like you to touch on the proposals I had asked earlier.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Thank you for asking. So Upwork proposals. Upwork is a tricky platform. For me, I normally see like it is a platform that exploits the people who are applying for jobs, because I don't understand why you're supposed to pay for application, and then after you have been paid again, they take some amount from you. So how you write the proposal is this, Esther, when you go to what the client wants you to do, they want you to manage their email. You first have to state the problem they're going through. You remember when I told you you need to package yourself, you start by stating the problem that the client is going through. That is the same thing that you're supposed to do when you're writing proposals on Upwork, freelancer.com, or freelancer.com, or what is the other platform? People per hour. So what you do is that you have to mention the problem. How do you know the problem? This one is easier. Already the problem is whatever the client is describing they want to be sorted out. And then you have to emotionally, people buy from emotions, guys. This is something that I've learned as a business person or someone that has been building businesses as a project manager. I've been helping quite a lot of people to build businesses. So one thing I've learned is that people buy from emotions. If you are able to emotionally connect with someone, they are able to buy from you from that point in time. And so the second part of the proposal, after you've stated the problem they are going through, try and emotionally connect with them. How do you emotionally connect with them? You tell them, I understand this problem affects you, and this is how it is affecting you. All right? And they'll be like, finally, someone who understands me. Finally, someone who understands me. And so that means that you really need to do a lot of research to know a cluttered email. What is the problem that it causes to a CEO or a business owner? Um, if you are going to deal with a problem and they're saying they need lead generating person, how is this problem affecting the person that you're going to work with? So you have to state that. And then the third part is that you now bring in the skills. This is how I am going to solve your problem. And now you tell them the skills that you're going to bring in. And then lastly, you tell them the impact and the value they are going to get when they work with you, why they should choose you and not another person. That is the basic formula of writing proposals. They normally change according to the person that you're applying to. So, according to the need of the person that you're applying. So, that means that you have to understand and decode the problem. You can use AI and Stealth Writer. Guys, I've given you Stealth Writer is a good tool. So, don't shy away from using AI. So, you can use AI, prompt AI to tell it that this is the client's problem and you would want to write a proposal. And this is how you want AI to structure. Because if you tell them it's an Upwork proposal, AI is just going to do a generic proposal that is common to everyone. So when you be able just to structure it and tell AI that this is what you want and this is how it's supposed to structure, then tell it that paragraph one should be state the problem. Paragraph number two, you need to connect, and paragraph should not be 7 sentences. A paragraph should just be 1 to 2 lines. And then the second paragraph now states how this problem affects them. Tell AI to emotionally connect with the client. And then the third part is now the skills. And then finally, the impact and the value that they're going to get when they work with you that they are not going to get when they work with another person. Take the output, put it on Scriptwriter, put it on Upwork, and send it out. Beryl, I saw your hand was up. Did you give up? All right. So I hope I haven't left out someone who wants to ask a question. It was a nice class. Esther, go ahead, Esther. Esther, if they don't ask questions, you ask on their behalf.
All right, so we're dragging you behind. I know you are ending the session. So I'm asking about that Upwork proposal. Now we identify the client's problem. In the first line of the proposal, can we use the first person pronoun or we can use the generic word?
Sorry, I didn't get that clearly.
Okay, let me nirudie here. So you have said you have told us that when writing the proposal for Upwork, we need to identify the client's problem. So my question is, now when we identify the problems that the client is facing, are we supposed to use the first person pronoun like, hello, I know I recognize that you have this problem, or you can stretch it in a generic way?
So this is how you can start it. Let me just give you a creative way of how to start it. So you would want, I want to hire someone to do for me a role. What you can tell them is, hi, I am the person you're looking for. Many CEOs like you, or the person might have gotten, you can actually go to the profile of the person and also see who is this person in a deeper way. Upwork is a whole different platform because there's a lot of ways how to navigate even to get the reviews and know what the client, who the client is, the name of the client, by the way. There's a way that you can actually go on the, if you don't know, if you've tried Upwork, if you go on the feedback section, that is where there is star ratings. You can get the name of the client from the people who have worked before for that client. Be able to say, hello, Joanne, maybe the client is Joanne. I'm the person you've been looking for. Many CEOs and founders like you go through such and such a problem. You see, you brought it in, and now you state the problem that they're going through. I hope I've answered you, Esther. And
It's me and Esther.
yeah,
So I was
go
to
ahead.
ask about the still, how do you call this app? Stilt writer. So
Hmm.
apparently I did run out of the, how do we call these things?
The
The,
validations.
yes, it did run out very fast. I don't know why. I started using it yesterday and it's not there. Like I don't know why.
You have to do it. If you do it 10 times, it's gone. You have to wait again for 24 hours.
No, it was not even 10 times.
Okay. How many times
Let
was
me,
it?
like it was only one CV. It was
No, it
countable around
doesn't mean you
5.
have to do one CV.
Hmm.
When you copy like the experience section and paste it on Stealth, and you tap on
Hmm.
humanize, it picks it up as one
Like
humanize.
the work experience, like let's say you have like 3 sections for the work experience. Does
Yes.
it mean you have to, oh, that's what I,
Yeah.
that was where I went wrong. Thank you for that.
So the rest I've not even figured out what what you're asking and how you got there. Anyway, Shayla, that is why you need to ask a question for yourself. Sheila, go ahead.
So hi.
Hi.
Mine is not really a question, but an appreciation. I'd actually given up on remote work. Me, I was those people who were saying that remote work is a scam. But I feel like I think I've gotten some bit of direction and I really know what I was doing wrong. Because I was not even getting rejections. I was just being ghosted. But I think I know what I was doing wrong, and I really appreciate you for that. And I hope you'll be available for us going forward. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Sheila. The first stage of remote work is first rejections. If you're not getting rejections, I don't know. I don't know if you're making progress. You have to start with rejections first. Let me just tell you guys, let me just be honest. Rejections is the first step. If you're not getting rejection, you're not making any progress. Esther?
All right. And sasa, I would like to be a accountability partner, though Sivani accounting. I would like so much to be a accountability partner because you are pushing so hard and I can see you want to you really get into this remote work and you're very serious about it. So, Joanne, here's my question. I like the energy. I like the energy that Anne has. So, okay, me, I've been in the field of academic writing. I've been a writer for the past 3 years.
Hmm.
So I asked you the same question before,
Hmm.
and you told me that I'm not supposed to include this experience in my CV. Why
Hmm.
is it? Not?
Because I am not someone who supports academic writing, Esther, number one. I feel it's let me just call it, now that we are 30 of us, it's cheating in exams. You are doing assignment for another person and that you are encouraging malpractice. Actually, it's let me just call it corruption, because now you're being paid to do that. And so when you put such a thing on your CV, that you are doing an academic writing and you're doing exams for people and you are doing assignments for them on your CV, an employer will see like you're gonna do the same. You're going to cheat the company. So for me, my values as a as a Christian and as someone who reveres God, I don't really recommend academic writing totally. If you've already done it, it's okay, but don't put it on your CV. It is going to show you will get a born again person like me. Yeah. I think you already have your answer. Thank you. Kosa?
Hi, John. Now, I wanted to inquire about you said that for all the positions that we apply, we need to keep a track of all the CVs, probably that we've applied for that particular job. Now, do you have like let's say an Excel form for us, or rather to share with us, so that you can be able to track our CVs, or rather, how can you encourage us to be tracking our CVs for each and every job that you apply? Because so far, I know I've applied for almost 50, and
And
it's so hard to track. Yeah, I'm very serious. And it's so hard to track each and every CV. So how can you advise us to, how can we go about that?
okay, Kosa, you're my student. I'm supposed to send that to you tomorrow. It's part of my to-do list. Um, so now let me show you. I think nilifaa kufungua niwaonyeshe, but I didn't. I have a tracker here that I've done for my students. So Kosa, you're one of them. I actually in our meeting yesterday we were supposed to discuss it. After time ya meeting imepita is when I remember by then we needed to have that meeting with you yesterday. But anyway, it's all right. So home. People are serious. People have applied for 50 jobs. Yeah. I hope you guys are also applying for jobs. All right, I'm going to take up to 10:25, and then we close this. I really want to respect people's time. So let me just show the tracker, and then we can have an. If you have any feedback, if you have any question, the group is still open. You can ask. You have seen the legend hapo nyuma. Vitu legend amefanya kwa bedroom yangu. Mungu ndiye anajua ile time tutalala leo. All right, your dedication and mentorship and impact on personal growth is heartfelt to me. Good job. Thank you so much, Lucy, for the feedback. I want just to show now the document is still opening. I'll give Beryl a chance.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Okay, sorry, by the name I don't know what happened, but I could not access the communication. But first, I want to say thank you for giving us your time, then also allowing us to interact. The session was very interesting, but too short. But I just when each and every person was enjoying for the 3 days session.
Mm.
Just to encourage them that just to focus on what we have learned and know where you are getting the difficulties, because it is now going to be the first time we have learned a lot. Then just in case there is no much fruit you are bearing, I think now we can graduate to the session of walking journey of the 12 guys which you have. I think the door is still open, right?
Yeah. The door is still open, but when I hit 15, I'm gonna stop. I first help the first, and then we can, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for that. I appreciate. Anne, now Anne is the last question I'm taking. And then
Thank you. I'm the active student, by the way. So just to say thank you. I've been shortlisted for another interview. It's the Sagan one that you shared. So I'm supposed to share like the introduction. You shared yesterday, like the 3 days. I hope I'll do it. I don't know, but maybe to ask, how should I go about? I've never applied that job in whatever the Sagana website. So the instructions are like, hey, my God, video introduction 2 to 3 minutes, and then there's another one, AI interview that you were
yeah.
talking about. Why are they saying let your personality shine? What is that?
Yeah. And I told you that is their culture.
So I need to pretend.
Guys in Kenya think people don't hire personality. Welcome to the remote world. Yes.
Yeah, but thank you so much. I've landed something before even the training ended. It has ended today. It has been bittersweet.
Yes.
So I'll give you feedback though, but that's a fruit you beared during this time. Yeah. But that person who is applying 50 jobs, really. I only applied one, by the way, today. I've only applied one, and
I think
that's
she
what
has
I've
applied.
gotten.
I think she has said so far. So that means that not from the day we started, but anyway. If from the day we started,
Yeah.
Lisa, we're gonna have a conversation because even me, I don't expect you in 3 days to have applied 50 jobs.
Yeah. But I'm just so grateful for that step. But just be intentional. That's what you told us. I did take that in, just being intentional in what you're doing, and it has landed me somewhere.
All right, thank you. So now this is
Thank you.
the form that I normally use. You put in the date so that you can also know when did you apply for this role. The job title. Have you ever received an interview and you're just wondering, so what was even the job title? So the job title that has been put on the job description, and then the link to the job, all right? And then here you take your CV, you upload it on Google Drive. You can actually, guys, you can have like 10 Google accounts. So you can just decide that this one is dedicated for my remote work journey. Just create it so that you can be uploading your CVs there, and then you put the link here so that when you apply for a job, and always remember to send your CVs in PDF form, and then you upload them, and then you move forward. And then you have 3 options. So you can get an interview invite, you can get a rejection, or you can get a response. And I think the day that you get a job, you will stop filling the form and then you move on to the next. So for my students, I normally have some more columns here to do when I do their ATS, because I normally review their CVs through the ATS and give reviews and then my comments according to the applications they're making. So that's it. Thank you so much, guys. It was nice. It was an active class. Thank you so much. I would love to hear your feedback. Please feel on the WhatsApp group. If not, you can inbox me. If you feel that, just come and tell me, even the negative feedback, by the way, so that I can improve in the next. Remember, we've started in April. We're going to do this every month. So if you feel that there's something that we need to change on, you feel I'm so soft, there's someone would me, why are you not speaking so fast? Like a teacher. If you feel so, just come and tell me so that I can be able next time to try and show that personality. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Joanne. We've learned a lot, been able to figure out how to go about remote work. Be blessed. Thank you, Oresha. Congratulations, Anne. Hello, Joanna, about the intern. The internship program is coming up. Don't worry, I'm gonna announce. Congratulations, Anne, from not now you. Oh, from January 50. If it's from January 50, it's less. Because if you've been applying from January to now, you're supposed to be over 100. But anyway, thank you guys so much. You're welcome. Thank you so much, Joanne, for the training. May God truly bless the work of your hands. I'll keep in touch once I do. Thank you so much, Margaret. Amen to that prayer. Lots to learn and unpack. Thank you, Joanne, for your time. May God bless you. See you on the other side of success. Thank you. Amen to that prayer. How much did you remember? 3,000. Thank you, Joanne, for the first comment. Kwa bedroom. Mambo imechemka huko. Thank you so much, guys. You can live at your pleasure. See at the top. See at the top. See at the top. See at the top, Lucy. Thank you so much and bye. Bye bye and good night. I enjoyed the class. Cheers. Good night. Good night. All right.